for South Africa. Pollard with the ball for Leroux. Mapimpi to his left. Makasola Mapimpi sprinting in for a second.
Hi guys, welcome to the Rugby Digest podcast. I'm Chelsea and with me I have Zubair and Yakub.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey guys.
Wow, could he be more excited about talking about the roundup after those quarterfinals this weekend? So we're going to be covering the book win against Japan and the other quarterfinals that came into play this weekend, as well as what are the key takeaways off the back of the quarterfinals this weekend. So to kick it off, books versus Japan.
Solid performance. I don't see it any other way. I mean, the first half could have been better, but we did get blown up, and I think everybody's hearts were in their chest when Beast hit up that tip tackle. At first glimpse, in real time, I thought he was off. I thought he was definitely going.
I didn't even think it was a penalty. I'll be honest, I thought it was just a massive hit.
How they've been blowing in this World Cup though, you never know.
You never know, but I think it was the right call that it was a yellow, because
it was clearly past the 90.
Yes, but in an earlier game, I think it was the Wales vs Fiji, Ken Owens, the exact same thing, went up to the TMO, and the TMO gave it a yellow. So if there was anything but a yellow, then you're talking inconsistency. And a lot of people have said it was a red, but do we want refs to be consistent? And
do you want the game to be killed in the first 10 minutes? It's
either way, I still think the Bucks win.
Definitely.
That's my takeaway, is that...
Look, that first half from Wayne Barnes was shocking though. We got blown up for everything.
Yes, well, the ref was never going to be on our
we
side.
We knew what was coming. We've discussed this over the last week. Basically, we knew we weren't going to get any 50-50 calls. And we knew that the ref was not going to be on our side. We were playing against not only Japan, but the rest of the world wanted us to lose that game. So Wayne Barnes did his best to keep them in it, but in the end...
Till half-time at least.
Yeah, in the end, I mean, people were nervous at half-time.
I wasn't nervous at all. I just thought we were going to do exactly what we did and just come out and blow them away, which we did.
Well, I definitely was nervous. I had a tension headache from here to next week.
The nerve showed in the first half for us, especially not getting those 50-50 calls. As a team, you could see there were some nerves. Yassi even mentioned it after the game. Some of the players, obviously coming into halftime, I think Dwayne and Siam made some speeches to the boys and just got them calm. Stick to the game plan. You know what we need to do. Like we discussed last week, scrum well, maul well, you win the game. Win penalties from those, which we did in the second half. Like Wayne Barnes actually blew scrum penalties, and the maul was just dominant. One maul, dude.
Maul was a thing of beauty. There's actually no better sight, I think, in South African rugby at least. There is no better sight than a good maul, let alone mauling it from your 10-meter line.
People were upset about just the brand that South Africa is playing at the moment, all the kicking and stuff, and I was just like, fuck, dude. That maul gave me a semi, if not a full-on.
Yeah, that actually did happen.
Like that was when Mark broke off.
You knew it was coming.
I was just like, this is sensational. And that is the core strength of Springbok rugby.
Just like didn't make a mistake there either, you know?
Exactly.
Especially mauling for that far. But I was disappointed with Japan. They offered nothing. Absolutely fuck all.
But do you know, like, the hits we were making, oh my
god,
dude, all game, like we were making massive hits, like every single one of our boys were hitting them 5 meters behind the game line.
Even Delendi, Lucanio putting in hits.
Yeah, they were both. Also throwing away an unnecessary ball.
There were a few like dodgy offloads in the first half. Khaleesi threw one away. There was just like those stupid 50-50 calls, but
just unnecessary.
Like we said, like players were nervous, so...
Look, even the Matsushima, I think if that's any other team in the World Cup, it's a yellow.
It's immediately a red.
Yeah,
like if
it's dangerous play. Hit him to the neck. Clearly, that's the whole thing they've been saying.
It's in the air. I'm confused.
Yeah, I know.
Like if he was on the ground and he clotheslined somebody the way he did, It's a straight red.
And he was
potentially.
nowhere
Like,
near the ball.
Nobody
He wasn't
is
even looking at the ball.
Nobody's even questioning it. If he clotheslined somebody while attempting to go for the ball, but the guy's on the ground, straight red. People
Yeah,
would just
you've
be
seen
like,
that.
fine.
Yeah.
Like, deserve. That was shocking. Like,
The fact that they didn't even...
there were a couple as
Yeah.
well. There was another one or two in the air where he didn't blow anything. It was just ridiculous, man. Even when they showed it on the replay on the screen,
I
it
know.
was just like Dwayne Barnes just like, nah, I saw it. It's like, what the
know.
fuck are you seeing, mate? Like,
What
literally.
have you guys been blowing for this entire World Cup?
For years.
basically?
Like, what are the rules now? Is it just anything goes?
I do think the change from our side happened when we stopped relying on the ref and we just played pure rugby.
Yeah.
And we weren't relying on the ref making calls in our favour, and we just put on a performance where there was no 50-50 decision. It was straight out ours, and that's where the game actually turned.
The discipline was great again. Like, our defensive discipline and just, like, not giving away silly penalties. In the first half, like we've discussed, we were a bit nervy, but the second half, we were just a professional outfit. There was
Look,
no
I think-
stage where I thought we were going to lose that game.
Definitely. I think in the first half, I don't know why everybody has this whole we were... I mean, I definitely think that we were nervy in terms of our kicking and some of the 50-50 offloads. But other than that, I thought we made more than enough chances to be ahead by 2 or 3 tries in the first half. So that the offload from Lucanio there were other chances on the break. Peter Steph, I remember him getting involved. So
Yeah, we left a lot of points out there.
that one forward pass. Villy again. But yeah, should we touch on
Villy.
performances then?
Oh, because
Shall
Villy
we-
fucking LaRue. I mean, I really...
Okay, so what was disappointing from the performance, seeing as we got in to pick something?
I think for me, it was once again Villy proving his complete lack of consistency. And we select him time and time again. And you know what? When he has a great moment, it's fucking amazing. But the problem is those are so few and far between.
I mean, on attack, that's where his main consistency lies. Just because he's that player that will throw that cut-out pass that gets intercepted more often than not. I thought he was solid on defense. He was okay. I think he took all of his eyeballs in the game.
Yes,
He was shocking.
And,
like,
but
that first half
his
performance
kicks were
was
okay.
disgraceful.
His pass
That is
to
not- that is not good
Mapimpi on
enough.
the, was it Pimpy on the wing? I was like,
It was
why
Peter
you...
Steph, the
Peter
forward pass.
Steph, yeah, Peter
Oh,
Steph.
No, but like just basic skills where there was one chance where we had out wide and it was a normal pass from Colby that he just dropped. With
Oh, yeah,
nobody
yeah.
in front of him. I'm like, he could have just passed it to Mapimpi and scored. Even the Lucanio offload. Like what I find with Willie is he runs sideways a lot. So let's say
Closes
that,
the other player's
yes,
space.
not only, but they also have to run sideways, if that makes sense. So it cuts a lot of the space down. So in that Lucanio you could see Willie doesn't take it to the line and draw that man. Whereas, so you kind of putting everybody outside of you under pressure, and he did it a couple of times in the game where he just holds onto that ball too long, or he doesn't straighten up well
Yeah.
enough. And that's aside from all the fucking errors that he makes, like 3 or 4 knockouts in the game.
Consistently.
Literally, I think he had 4 handling errors in the game. So it's a serious issue.
Yeah.
And that also leads into, again, the Bucks missing on chances. A lot of the time, he's just poor skill execution.
Look, I think we'll touch on this later, but I think this weekend against Wales we're gonna really show everybody who we are, and those passes are just gonna stick. I think we're not far off from being the best team in the world.
I totally agree. I think what we need to do this week is have a fast start. Like if we get ahead by 10 or 12 points early, we could put 50 on anyone nowadays. Like that's
Yeah.
how good our defense is, and if teams are having to chase against us,
Just
it's
pressure.
almost impossible
Plus
to
at
beat
set
us.
pieces, like how good were our set pieces?
set
But I
piece,
mean,
our
our
lineup
lineup,
was
we're still
incredible.
100% for the tournament, something like that.
Yeah, we're
And
the
we've
only
stolen.
team.
How
We
many
stole
lineups-
5 lineouts.
How good is that line out steal from Peter Steph 5 meters out? It
I
was
know.
sensational.
I think like all of the locks got a line out still. Like one. RG
Maybe,
came off.
RG got one immediately.
RG got one. Peter Steff is not even a lock. Luet, Etzebeth. They all got a line out still in the game. Our line out is the best in the world. And what I liked on the weekend was we mauled. And we fucking mauled. You know what I mean? There's a lot of the time where we don't just do it. Such a strong point in our game. We just don't do it enough sometimes in the big games. And I think it's going to be a massive weapon. If we get ahead in any of these semi-finals, or if we make it to the final, we're going to be hard to stop, eh?
Look, I don't see Wales posing many threats. I can't deny.
Well, not after their performance.
Yeah, we'll see it. We need to start off well.
We do.
Because if we start off like we did, and Wales are in the game, they've shown that they can win those like scrappy games where it's a score in it. That's my only worry. So a fast start this weekend.
Yeah, but standout players from the weekend's game?
I thought Luet was outstanding. And he's been great every game in this
game.
World Cup. He's only getting better. He's really hitting that 2015 form where he was the best player in the country. And his physicality, man. Like, the amount of big hits and gain line is just... he made 14 out of 14 tackles. He just doesn't miss a tackle. And I can guarantee that half of those were dominant, like massive
Going
hits.
back, like hitting Oaks backwards.
He's just playing on another level at the moment, bringing physicality like everybody in the pack. That tight five is like amazing at the moment.
I'm really impressed with a lot, like even some of the backline players in terms of just coming good when, like, as the tournament's progressed, you know. Taelendi's been looking amazing. He had his best game in a Buck jersey. I'm pretty sure most people
His
have.
best game in a Buck jersey. It was a bit harsh.
It was. He wasn't held. Clearly not held.
How is that blown that at all?
How is that not taken to the TMO? That's what I don't understand.
That's the funny thing is, like, if it's New Zealand,
they're not checking that. They're not even checking it. So
I don't know. Confusing. Like that first half from Wayne Barnes was Bryce Lydon's quality.
It was farcical.
It was possibly worse than Bryce Lydon. Just in the way it was there.
If we were playing against a better team, we could have
lost the game.
Literally.
He could have like actually left himself out of a final potentially. Just on that performance alone, it was that
I'm
bad.
under the impression it's going to be Nigel Owens regardless.
You think?
Yeah.
It depends if Wales get there.
I mean, but come on, guys.
So, like, touching on the Damien thing, if we go back to like the combination with Lukanya Am, how good was he, man?
So good.
His defensive work was incredible. Like just hitting that the back runner, you know, the second line of attack, hitting them hard every time.
Backwards.
It was the amount of meters he must have made on defense, like for our team, was incredible.
Just being the one to shoot out, you know,
and not missing
choosing,
anything.
Yeah,
like
the right
timing, the right player.
Actually, make a very good combination.
At the moment, they might be the best defensive centre pairing in the world. Like that's how dominant Damien as well.
Like
unbelievable.
We are the only team though that can compete with New Zealand at centre in terms of just physicality, and we can actually hit them backwards. Even if they bring on Sonny Bill, I'm not particularly worried about a Sonny Bill.
Damien has showed that he can handle Sonny.
Whereas every other team is genuinely like
it's a serious worry.
It's one of the main worries in the backline.
Yeah, tell me about it. So, what is your rating on the performance then?
I'd say a solid 7, but I'm going to give them an 8. It's a Rugby World Cup quarterfinal. There was a lot of pressure. Look, that first half, everybody knows the refereeing decisions didn't go our way. But props to them for coming out in the second half and, you know, putting in a dominant display.
What is your rating, Charles?
Well, the fact that I nearly had a heart attack a few times and probably used fuck more times than I can't care to remember in front of members of the public. Like I'm sitting with it going 7.5, simply based on the fact we got a win. We actually put out our mettle, and our mettle was tested. And it's because it's actually our first, outside of the New Zealand game, our first competitive game of the tournament. And I think we actually brought to it what we needed to without giving too much away. But it's like definitely like we're on the mark. Don't fuck with us. We're coming.
You've raised some good points, and like we were discussing last week, touching on that, where we said like a tight game might be good for the Boks to come through, something like that, as opposed to, in the end we did win by 20, but it was tight for a large portion of that game. So it just showed how the players could take charge and not completely fuck out. So in that second half, we were really good. We were amazing. So I'll give our first half performance like a 2 and our second half performance a 7. So what is that?
Maybe an 8
give it like
for that maul, surely.
Yeah.
That maul was a thing of beauty.
I'd say, okay, so I'd give it a 5 then. Just because we were nowhere near our best. We have so many gears we can go through, I feel. So maybe 5 is harsh. 6. Just because that second half we really came out and it could have gone a completely different way. The way that first half went.
To be fair, I'm
the
quite
game was still in the
excited
balance in essence.
that wasn't our best. Because if that was decent and that wasn't our best, imagine what our best actually has in store for us.
And it works in our favor that like teams are still going to underestimate us because we didn't like destroy
Like
Japan.
Wales are actually coming into this game with some confidence, thinking we can potentially cause an upset here.
They've
And
beaten
like
us the last 4 times.
props, they can potentially cause an upset, but like you guys will hear it later on in the week, but I'm definitely going to be predicting a massive scoreline to the Springboks. Like no doubts as well.
Early talk. So shall we move on to the other games?
Yep. So next up in our discussion is England versus Australia.
So
And the fact that England has come through that.
Yeah, comfortably.
Checker going out in a blaze of glory, I mean.
Yeah, well, you know,
Playing the Australian way and stuff.
What is the Australian way? Because some of those tactics were, horrific. For knockout
Were
football.
those even tactics?
I have no idea what they were trying to do.
Why?
I don't think I've ever seen, like, I understand, like, the need to be different. It's your last game, you're going to go out doing your thing. But it's not like we have even seen Australia do those little chip kicks at any stage ever. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Let alone from your 22.
The chip kick from Bill, where I think it was like 25 minutes in and you're putting a little chip kick inside your 22 from a kickoff VC. It was possibly one of the worst plays I've ever seen. Only to be beaten by Mahina. But we'll touch on that. I mean, up until Saturday, this was the worst play I've possibly ever seen.
Without a doubt.
Just in terms of the game magnitude, like
What are you
fuck
thinking?
are you guys doing? It was
Just-
shocking.
Look, there are basics of rugby. I think we all know it's in your 22. Let alone it's a knockout game. It's a test match.
We're not
You
even
kick it
asking
out,
you to
mate.
do
What the
anything
fuck?
special. Like,
Plus, like even just going through the phases in their 22.
in 22, man.
They like play to the center of the field and then like continue to play like, as if they thought that they were gonna get through England's defense and
Not
run
only
80
that,
meters.
like, it's just, it's baffling. How it's like people were saying it's brave, and I was just like, I'm sorry, that's fucking unprofessional. Like, for them to put out that performance, it's actually a smack in the face to the fucking Australian supporters who flew over there. And we are not. It's not like the Australian public was asking them to be this team and run everything, or we're just asking you to do the professional thing and give your side the best chance of winning this game. And he fucking sold them all down the river. You're putting a 19-year-old who played fucking well. I was very impressed.
Yeah,
with
a
Jordan
sensational
Bataille.
performance.
But it was disgraceful from Checker. And yeah, if I was Australian, I would not be happy.
Look, to be fair, they were still in the game at halftime. They came out after halftime and scored the try. But yeah, England, fuck man. What can we say about those guys?
They were 1 point behind.
Well, Colin Farrell didn't get a red card.
Who the fuck
He
is
wasn't
Colin
involved.
Farrell?
I mean, sorry.
Owen
Owen Farrell.
Farrell.
I mean, you can see what's happening.
If Colin Farrell
nonetheless.
was in this
But-
game, I would get it.
He wasn't
Lost
involved
that
in a
free
red
throw.
card. Very unlike him.
There weren't any like real talking points, but Australia were 1 point behind after like 52 or 53 minutes after the try from
No, it was after
Betty.
like 43 minutes.
Yeah,
44.
it was like
Straight
just after
after
halftime. And then from the kickoff, I think Will Genia tries a little chip kick clearance, goes out like just
On the
outside
full.
the 20, too.
Oh yeah.
England go through a few phases and a prop runs through untouched, like Carl Sinclair.
And then people just sucking Owen Farrell off for that. But that's just like,
Those soft
come on.
moments.
How are you
like,
conceding that try?
No other top team who wants to win this World Cup is giving away that try. Like, I'm sorry, but
No.
immediately after just getting back into the game, 1 point behind, it goes back to the fucking planning and tactics. It was putrid. It was bad,
the
man.
defense was putrid. But
But
also,
then again, England were great. England did what they had to. They're a professional team.
they got given opportunities and they took them.
Also,
I wouldn't say they
yeah.
played. I have to say they had a solid performance. They played well defensively, and it's going to be an interesting game to watch this weekend. Them against New Zealand.
I think New Zealand is going to give them a run for their fucking money. They've been golden boys up until this point just because of the luck of the draw. And they've been consistent in their application, in just making sure they've got the basics down. But at the end of the day, if ever they needed to show their actual true strength, it's against New Zealand. So I'm going to really want New Zealand to win this one because I don't think England actually deserve it. I think they've just got lucky.
Look,
I
don't think anybody wants to play New Zealand here. So I'm
exactly.
definitely backing England. And
Oh,
I'm pretty
from that
sure
side.
everybody at home is too.
I don't know. I would love to play New Zealand. But look, England are a well-oiled machine. Eddie Jones has them just doing the fucking basics. They're a professional lineup. England, South Africa, New Zealand are probably just the 3 best teams by a long way, just in the way they're drilled. Wales, you could say, in terms of the way they're drilled, but
They don't have the
on
quality.
talent, they don't have the talent of the other 3. So they're not a real contender to go all the way for me. England are looking strong. They've got a strong pack with some good skills and they could cause some serious problems for the All Blacks. Again, one of the big points from this game is those 2 breakout tries from Johnny May early on.
So
he
poor.
scored 2 in 3 minutes, which it dictates the entire
The
game.
game was
from there.
over.
So, in a lot of the tight games in this World Cup, the early game, New Zealand beat South Africa. Again, like 2 quick breakout tries and
Just game
trying
management
to
from there.
chase a team with such
You're
well-structured
always gonna
defenses.
make 1 or 2 errors where they'll, if they're as good as, like we're saying,
they
New
just-
Zealand, England, South Africa are, they'll punish you.
And you can just go in 3s from there. You don't need to do anything spectacular. And then pick, like England basically just picked them off at the end. It was a good game to watch up until about the 50th minute where you kind of knew what was going to happen. Like, we all knew that England were just...
Gonna steamroll them.
Once Sinclair scored, it was like, you can't concede soft tries like that and expect to win tight games against good teams. Simple as that.
This is knockout football. Anyway, shall
Sure.
we move on to the New Zealand-Ireland game?
Yeah, what were your takeouts from that game?
Ireland should have stayed in bed that day.
I mean, they pretty much did. They were completely useless. They didn't even show up.
It was bad.
That was one of the most embarrassing performances I think I've seen in a Rugby World Cup quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Look, they got 2
they
soft
did
tries.
what
The
Ireland do,
scoreline
though.
still flatters them.
Yeah, they do. They did what Ireland do in the quarterfinals. I mean, we all knew what was going to happen. And people were saying, like, what would have happened if they beat Japan, blah, blah, blah. Like, this box would have smashed them by 30. That's how bad they've been. And let's not sugarcoat this. Like, yes, New Zealand were amazing on the day, and I think it's the most clinical we've seen them. But this Ireland team is piss poor.
Look,
Like,
they
that-
lost to Japan. We've been saying this. Like, it's... You can't even compare.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more. I thought, if you look at their team sheet from 1 to 15, it's a fucking strong lineup. I think it's just a year or two too late for
old,
them.
yeah.
They just did not turn up at all.
No fight. I don't think I saw one big hit from them in the entire game. New Zealand had a few big hits as they always do,
I'm
but
shocked.
Ireland, literally zero.
As a professional lineup, and you know what you need to bring, how is there not one big hit in an entire 80
It's
minutes?
one thing you can guarantee against any team, just hit them backwards.
And there was nothing. So New Zealand had quite a free ride in terms of getting offloads away,
They
low
made
passes
it was
under
a clinic.
pressure.
It was a clinic at
They
times.
won the game line all the time, and you can't give New Zealand fan football. It's that simple. Well, that being said, New Zealand were amazing. And they
Was
really
their
laid
best
down a
performance, definitely, this World Cup. And I mean, I'm not the only one in saying I'm a bit worried about these guys now.
Yeah,
After that performance.
A bit more worried than I was, but I think if the Springboks meet them again, even England this weekend, they are beatable when you can match them physically. Ireland just did not turn up
Didn't
at
even
all.
show up, so.
What we all thought were going to be 2 tight games on Saturday just turned out to be 2 blowouts, and it was actually a little disappointing. Sunday's games were probably a lot better, which we should probably move on to, seeing as I don't think we learned much from those 2 games that we didn't know before. Like, we knew England was strong, we knew New Zealand was strong.
I think what we did learn was what Michael Checker's face looks like at defeat.
Yeah, he's resigned now.
He was heartbroken.
No, he was done.
He
I felt
was.
my heart
Shame.
bled for the man. I really did.
Yeah, he does wear his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah, indeed.
Unlucky. Ireland were just poor. New Zealand kind of had they had their way with Ireland.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a contest at any stage. They were 20-0 up at half time or something, 22-0.
And
there's-
they just conceded, like the 2 tries that Ireland scored were just soft tries to give away as well. I'm sure New Zealand would be a bit disappointed in conceding those.
The one penalty try from
Yeah,
Manta,
how was that?
I don't know.
What are you meant to do there?
And he was behind the line, because what Nigel Owens had said was
He
that
said he wasn't behind the line.
exactly, he
Yeah.
was clearly behind the line. I can understand if he's saying no arms, but again, I don't even think he was attempting to make a tackle.
He was just blocking.
And he did fine. He actually did really well there, I thought.
Yeah, to keep him from going over that
Penalty try and yellow card though.
Yeah, is what it is.
It is what it is. Who knows?
But yeah, anyway, so Wales, France. So this was probably the game of the weekend. It had the controversy. It was the only tight result.
And
As
what
Cole
not to do
probably
in a
predicted.
quarterfinal.
France actually played really fucking well. They worried me actually.
The game was won in that first half.
When they scored 2 tries quickly. Within the first 8 or 9 minutes of the game, they were 12-0 up. And I really thought, fuck, Wales chasing, I can't see them winning. And they scored a soft one immediately,
Yeah.
but France kind of took over the game again, like in the latter period of the second half and early periods of in the latter periods of the first half and
yeah.
early periods in the second half. And then, yeah, what can we say?
Vermeerina.
What can you say about that guy?
Idiot.
It defies belief.
I mean,
What's going through your mind? You're playing in a Rugby World Cup quarter-final.
Your team is well up. You're 5 meters out for the line. And you're leading by like 10 points at this stage.
Just so unnecessary, man.
I don't know what to say. The ref had no choice. It was one of the more clear-cut elbow straight to the face, man.
Jeez, that was so dirty.
It makes no sense. Immediately when it happened, I was like, he'll never play for France again. And we've just heard that he's announced his retirement. So
28.
What other exit strategy did he have?
it was shocking, man. France, even then, like after the red card, they still could have won that game. Wales showed sweet fuck all in the entire
Yeah,
game.
jeez, they were so average. I mean, Wales just got some calls in the game. I mean, even their winning try, could have gone the other way. I mean,
I thought it was
some would
forward.
argue that it was forward. So
I thought it was clearly forward. I don't know how you get into that decision at such a key period of that game, because it's like they rushed it. I mean, this is potentially sending a team out or
Of the
through to the
or
semi-final of the World Cup. Like there's 5 minutes to go, and you are running through this so quickly instead of taking your time, making sure you get all of the camera angles. I just don't know. For me, it was clearly forward because the rip was in a forward direction.
Well, that's generally how a rip would work, but Jacob thought otherwise.
It's a massive goal in the game. It could send France through to the semi-final. I was just a bit disappointed that they didn't take their time and get to the right decision. I thought it was forward. Some people think it was, in line. I just don't see how it can be in line when the Welsh player was literally ripping it forward. So, who knows? It was a massive moment in the game. But we've got to look at the French kind of implosion more than anything.
Yeah,
Wales,
that's been the story of their World Cup.
Oh, shit, dude. How shit were Wales?
Wales are average at best. And even then, even with the result, everything France still should have won. Intermac missed a couple of penalties. He missed a penalty and a conversion.
Yes, and the conversion was a sitter in the first half, I think. And when he missed it, I was like, fuck, dude, you cannot miss any points like that in a knockout game, in a tight one. I just had a feeling it was going to come back to haunt them in the second half. And it exactly nails one of those, one of the penalty or the conversion, and they win this game. Unlucky because he played really well. I thought he was quite good for like youngster.
It was a solid performance by the French, but like we've been saying, I mean, their team is definitely a team for the next World Cup anyway.
Yeah. And again, Wales, they know how to win these games. We've discussed it before. They just know how to win. Like somehow, you don't want to be within a score of them going into the last 10 minutes because
Wales.
they know how to clean
We're gonna
out,
physically
close out
dominate them. I'm confident, guys.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but again, you need to put them away.
No, you
these
need
teams,
to silence them from the start and put them in their place.
The longer they stay in the game, they've shown that they can win tight games over a long period of time. So that's the only worry going forward to this weekend. Otherwise, if we turn up even at 95%, we'll be 10 points better than them.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Takeaways from the weekend? Player of the week. You got one choice each.
That's a very tough.
I'll take us off. I'll go with Bowden Barrett. He was unbelievable.
He was just doing Bowden Barrett things.
Not that he was under pressure, like taking eyeballs or anything. They were just kicking to him and he was running it back. But
and it was ridiculous. How are you kicking the ball straight to Bowden Barrett?
He's just fucking Bowden Barrett.
Oh, George Bridge.
He was sensational.
He was sensational. Gets the bounces.
I know,
everything.
like just watching that, I was like, "There's a reason you're the best player on the planet." Like, unbelievable.
Sure. Even Moanga had a great game.
He had a good game.
Who
was your player of the weekend?
Jesus, I'm still undecided. I was gonna go Moanga actually, but I think I'll go for a player from a different game. And I'm probably gonna just go with a little Damien Delendi.
Ooh.
He had a great performance. His best performance for the Bucks. Stood up when we needed him to.
Fair enough. He had a sensational game.
He didn't put a foot wrong the whole game.
There was a couple of handling errors, gave away a couple of penalties, but
everyone in
he
our
brought
team
the physicality and everything he
didn't miss a tackle.
Yeah, he was sensational. He made the most tackles in the game, 17. So, yeah, he was all over the place.
It's quite a tough call for me because I'm in half minds here. It's Makazole Mapimpi because the man shined, and I absolutely love it when he shines, and I think when the team supports him and allows him the space to shine, he fucking rips it up. But then I'm also sitting, and I never thought I'd say it, but like Faf, simply because, my God, did the man go in for the hits. He got a try over the line. I mean, he absolutely played out of his size 5 boots.
He was everywhere.
He could have been better.
He could have been better.
He
hasn't hit his full potential, but I mean, if that's him at half potential, then God only knows what he's going to be like at full potential. But I'm going to go favoritism here, and Mapimpi for me.
Cool.
Fair
enough.
And yeah, I mean, in terms of the dad of the week, I think everybody knows who that guy's going to be.
I'm actually going to go against the grain and not say Vamaina. I'm going to say Michael Checker. Just for being a fucking dick. We all wanted to watch a good game of rugby and you fucked it up for everyone. You couldn't even play test match rugby in a World Cup quarter-final. So, Michael Checker, suck a dick, mate.
Fair enough.
And you guys are just going to go Vamaina, I'm guessing.
Definitely.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
It was one of the worst players.
I 100%
in the
agree
scene.
with you in terms of Michael Checker, but yeah. I mean, we could also just say the entire Irish team.
Yes.
Yo, fair
Who was
enough.
that?
That's a good shot.
For me, it was Willie Leroux. Like, I question his selection every time. I think Super Rugby, fine, mate, do whatever you want. But also, you're no longer playing Super Rugby. They've actually taken you overseas, and maybe for good reason. But at the same time, like, you in our national squad, like, you don't have room to fuck up. And you don't have room to fuck up at these levels. And when you are a senior player in the squad and guys are looking to you to lead, and you play the way you... No, I can't. That lack of consistency for me, he does not deserve a Springbok jersey.
Jeez, those are quite strong views.
But
I
I
I'm
can
sure
see
he's a
where you're
lovely
coming
guy.
from.
Just in case he ever listens to this, I'm sure you're an
Can't
amazing
disagree.
guy. Let's have a
I'm
Bryson
sure there are
time,
people
but-
out there that are agreeing with us right now.
He's
so-
under so much pressure at the moment. We've been building this pressure for 2 months now, basically, on the Willie shit thing.
Well,
Or not that he's shit, it's
we're
just
not the
could cost
only
us the
ones,
game.
man. We're not the only ones.
It's a 50-50 and I don't like it.
Yeah,
You either
in
come
the final,
110%
that's
or
amazing.
just don't.
Because, fuck, he's bad, he's really bad. man.
So, next one up, play of the week.
Play of the week.
Would it be every...
I actually enjoyed the French try. That was the second try, Bakatawa, inside ball,
Oh,
I
yes.
think.
Set piece move.
Olivant, the flanker scored. That was just so typically French, man. Breakout from their own 22, little offload, inside ball, making the right passes, and a forward. You know, a flanker's there to finish it off. That's just so French. I love that
Yeah.
guy.
Well,
It
I'm
was a
glad
great
you
play.
enjoyed it because it's the last French movement you'll see this tournament.
Yeah, no, that was
Well,
my play
maybe
of the
not.
week.
I mean, it's definitely setting up for a little Jerome Gosses in the
Oh,
in the
well,
semis.
no,
Let's not talk about
let's not
it.
talk
We
about
haven't
that.
discussed them
That would be
too
insane.
much, but like,
We'll discuss this in our pod later in the week, guys. But anyway, my play of the week is gonna be the Faf try. That maul
Yeah.
was.
also
I can't
cheers-worthy.
talk enough about it. I could watch it all
It
day.
was actually sexual.
I was from the moment they started, I was go all the way, boys. And I thought they were gonna go the
They
whole
could
way.
have,
They could have.
possibly. Oh, it was great.
I'm gonna second Zabay on that. Like, come
Fair
on,
enough.
like,
I'm actually
amazing
really
work.
going to choose it,
Oh.
but like I'm gonna stick with
Well,
the
you
French
could have
one.
jumped on the
I'm
gravy
gonna do
train
something
with us.
different. People
Fair
know my thoughts on that. It was quite sensual.
And last point of the evening, most impressive side this past weekend.
Do you want to take us off then?
Ooh, you see, now we know Wales were gross. I will never back England. New Zealand is just absolute thoroughbred joy to watch. But I'm going to back the homeboys because I liked what I saw. I was happy with what I saw, and I'm confident that if that's the play that we're putting out, the Webbellas could be coming home with us.
Fair point. I don't not agree with you. I mean, like, I completely agree with
Please
what you're
don't.
saying.
I mean, add another
But
point to it.
yeah, for me, it was definitely New Zealand. They actually laid down a marker this weekend. They made it. I mean, granted, Ireland didn't show up, but you still have to put them away, and they did it with ease. They didn't even. By the end of the game, it was they were just having a laugh. Literally,
Yeah,
halfway through the second half.
it's hard to gauge with the England and New Zealand fixtures or wins just because the opposition was not great. I think Australia probably gave England a bit more of a fright because Ireland didn't turn up at all. But I'm gonna go with Charles as well and say that the Park performance was everything we needed from them. I think they showed more than the other teams just because we were under serious pressure. The entire world was against us. The ref was against us. We were making stupid errors. The players were under pressure. Like
After the
you could
first half,
see
especially.
that the pressure was there, and we could easily have crumbled. But the way we played, and we just stuck to the structure, stuck to the game plan. It was impressive to see that second half performance. There's not a lot of teams who could have matched South Africa for physicality in that entire 80 minutes. But that second half performance, set piece, just general play, just physicality, man. We were fucking monsters.
It was
We were fucking
sensational.
monsters. If we bring that physicality against, nobody will stop us at this World Cup.
Look, all of your talk about Japan's back row, and they were nowhere. Jimenez off in like the 50th
know,
minute
dude,
already.
they
He
must
was
have knocked
getting
him out.
destroyed.
I thought the same
Going
thing. When
nowhere.
they took him off, I was like, these guys are getting fucked up. But they brought on Mafia, and even he was just smacked
Going
down.
nowhere. Like I even saw Delaney, him smashing back. I
was-
was like,
Yeah, it was impressive to see. So, yeah, it's been a great weekend of rugby. Some games that weren't as close as we thought. But overall, we've got the 4 best teams in. Can we all agree on that?
100% agree on that.
I'm still undecided about Wales. I don't think they deserve to be where they are, regardless of what has happened. There was France.
Sibbles, you
still
had
could
a, like, if
comfortably
you had a
taken that.
choice, would you rather play against anyone stronger, or would you rather play against Wales?
I'm worried about France.
I would be way more worried about France, but
It's a good deal for us.
So then
it's a
let's-
great draw for
let's-
us. But I wouldn't say the 4 best teams is what I was saying.
Well,
Anyway,
the top 4
Top
ranked
4.
teams, it
Yeah, we'll
seems.
take it.
So number 1 versus 2 this coming weekend as well.
and the Six Nations champions versus the Rugby Championship champions.
So we got 2 crackers up. Let's hope that it's going to be a lot tighter. And I do think that it's going to be a lot tighter. Maybe in the Bok game, not so much. But that England-New Zealand game could be,
Could genuinely go either way.
yeah.
So, on that note, I actually want to apologize at the end of this podcast because this was probably the first pod where we actually had any sound interference, and that was mainly because it was streamed live from the kitchen whilst I was cooking dinner.
Thanks,
But
Joss.
we are real life people who
Thanks,
have
Joss.
real lives, and I'm got to feed a man. So I was cooking. But thank you for staying tuned. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate the ongoing support. And guys, any form of feedback, please
Yes.
send it our way. Swing us in inbox.
Retweet, like, subscribe.
Do whatever you got to
Take the
do.
polls.
Engage. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get this going.
Sweet.
We'll see you later in the week.
Come
Cheers,
on,
guys.
Booker.
Woohoo!